Have you ever found yourself waking up with a quiet sense of something unfinished? A lingering echo of "what if" from decades past? Or perhaps, as the years accumulate, you notice a subtle heaviness settling in, a weight of old stories, unsaid words, or burdens you've carried far too long. It's a common experience, isn't it, this feeling that despite all our wisdom and life experience, there are still invisible chains that tether us to the past, or to expectations that no longer serve us. This isn't just about wistfulness. It can subtly drain your energy, cloud your present moments, and even impact your physical well-being. It can make those golden years feel a little less golden, a little more burdened. But here's a beautiful truth: the path to a genuinely happier, more vibrant, and even longer life isn't always about adding new routines or striving for more. Often, it's about the profound power of subtraction, of consciously letting go. Imagine shedding those weights, one by one, until you feel a lightness you haven't experienced in years. In this video, we're going to gently explore 4 specific things you can choose to release after 65. Things that, perhaps without you even realizing it, might be holding you back from living your fullest, most joyful life right now. So, settle in, make yourself comfortable, and watch until the very end. Because I promise you, there's a surprising realization waiting for you that could truly transform your perspective. So, let's dive right into the first powerful release. Something many of us unknowingly carry deep within our hearts: letting go of past regrets and all those persistent what ifs. Have you ever found yourself replaying a moment, perhaps from decades ago, agonizing over a different choice you could have made, a path you didn't take, or words you wished you'd said or kept silent? It's astonishing how these echoes from the past can continue to reverberate through our present. Isn't it? They manifest in quiet sighs, restless nights, or that subtle feeling of dissatisfaction. Even when everything in our current life seems perfectly fine, the insidious nature of regret is that it keeps us tethered to a version of ourselves, or a reality, that no longer exists. It feeds on the notion that if only we had acted differently, our lives would be perfect now. But here's the profound truth we often overlook at every single point in your life. You made the best decision you could with the information, understanding, and emotional capacity you had at that very moment. Your past self, just like your present self, was doing their very best. Holding on to regret is like driving a car while constantly staring in the rearview mirror. You're bound to miss the beauty unfolding right in front of you on the road ahead, and you're much more likely to stumble. So, how do we begin to untangle ourselves from these threads of yesterday? The first step is to simply acknowledge, without dwelling, when a regretful thought surfaces. Instead of pushing it away or getting lost in it, simply notice it. Say to yourself, "Ah, there's that old thought again." You can even try writing it down in a journal. Just the act of putting it on paper, outside of your head, can diminish its power. You're not trying to erase it, but rather to observe it from a distance, like watching clouds drift by. You wouldn't try to stop every cloud, would you? You just watch them pass. Next, and this is truly transformative, comes the process of forgiveness, both for yourself and for others involved. So often, our deepest regrets are tied to moments where we feel we let ourselves down, or where others let us down. Forgiving yourself means accepting that you are human, that mistakes are part of the journey, and that every misstep contained a valuable lesson. It's not about condoning past actions, but about releasing the emotional charge associated with them. Similarly, forgiving others doesn't mean forgetting or excusing their behavior. It means freeing yourself from the burden of resentment and bitterness that only harms you, not them. This forgiveness isn't a one-time event. It's a gentle, ongoing process, like polishing a stone until it shines. As you acknowledge and forgive, You can then begin to extract the lessons and then truly release the emotional burden. Every experience, even the painful ones, shapes us. What did that regretful moment teach you about yourself, about others, about life? Did it teach you resilience, empathy, the importance of clear communication, or the value of timing? Once you've genuinely absorbed the wisdom from that experience, you no longer need to carry its emotional weight. It's like extracting the precious gem from a heavy rock. You keep the gem and let the rock crumble away. This act of learning transforms a past wound into a source of strength. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, reclaim your power by focusing on the present. The only moment you truly have any control over is right now. Direct the energy you once spent replaying past scenarios into creating new, positive experiences. What small act of joy can you engage in today? Can you pick up that old hobby you always meant to? Spend quality time with a loved one? Or simply enjoy a quiet cup of tea in the sunshine? Shift your narrative. Instead of thinking, "I messed up back then," reframe it to, "That was a challenging time that ultimately taught me X, and now I am free to embrace Y." This isn't about ignoring the past. It's about acknowledging it, gleaning its wisdom, and then consciously choosing to move forward. Lighter and wiser. When you release the heavy chains of regret, a remarkable shift occurs. Your mind, once preoccupied with what was, becomes clearer and more open. This mental freedom reduces stress, which we know has profound effects on our physical health. From improving sleep quality to lowering blood pressure, you'll find more energy for the people and pursuits that truly nourish you today. You'll be more present, more joyful, and more capable of embracing the vibrancy of your golden years. Imagine the peace that comes from truly living in the now, unburdened by yesterday's what-ifs. Now that we've gently touched upon freeing ourselves from the past, let's turn our attention to another significant weight many of us carry, often unknowingly, the burden of trying to be everything for everyone. Now that we've gently touched upon freeing ourselves from the past, let's turn our attention to another significant weight many of us carry, often unknowingly, the burden of trying to please everyone. For many of us, especially those of a certain generation, there was an ingrained sense of duty, of putting others' needs before our own. We were taught to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to always lend a helping hand. And while kindness and generosity are beautiful qualities, when they come at the constant expense of your own well-being, they can become an invisible drain, slowly but surely depleting your energy and even your joy. Have you ever found yourself saying yes to a request when every fiber of your being was screaming no? Perhaps it was agreeing to watch the grandchildren when you desperately needed a quiet afternoon, or volunteering for another committee when your schedule was already overflowing, or even just listening to someone else's problems for hours when you felt emotionally exhausted. The result, a quiet resentment might build, a feeling of being taken for granted, and worst of all, a pervasive exhaustion that chips away at your ability to enjoy the things you truly desire. This constant striving to meet everyone else's expectations can leave you feeling empty, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your own authentic self. It's like pouring from an empty cup. Eventually, there's nothing left to give, not even to yourself. So, how do we begin to let go of this deeply ingrained habit? It starts with defining your boundaries. What are you truly comfortable doing? What are your physical, emotional, and time limits? Take some quiet time to reflect on this. It might feel foreign at first, especially if you've spent a lifetime putting others first. But understanding your own needs is the first step towards honoring them. Remember, a boundary isn't a wall to push people away. It's a fence that protects your energy, allowing you to be more genuinely present and generous when you do choose to engage. Once you know your boundaries, the next step is to practice saying no gracefully. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means offering a clear, Concise refusal without lengthy explanations or apologies. Simple phrases like, "Thank you for thinking of me, but that doesn't quite work for my schedule right now." Or, "I'm afraid I'm not able to take on any new commitments at the moment," are perfectly sufficient. You don't owe anyone an elaborate justification. The initial discomfort you might feel, the fear of disappointing someone, is often far less impactful than the ongoing exhaustion and resentment that comes from saying yes when you mean no. You'll find that most reasonable people will respect your honesty. Crucially, this shift is about prioritizing your own well-being. It's not selfish. It's an act of self-preservation that ultimately benefits everyone around you. When you are rested, joyful, and have energy, you are a much better grandparent, friend, partner, or community member. When you're constantly depleted, you're merely going through the motions. Your happiness and health are foundational. Everything else builds upon that. This new approach allows you to truly understand that you cannot control others' reactions. Some might be briefly disappointed, but that's their feeling to manage. Your job is to be true to yourself, not to constantly manage the emotions of others. Imagine the liberation that comes when you realize your worth isn't tied to how much you do for others, but in simply being authentically you. Releasing the need to please opens up incredible space in your life. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. You start building relationships based on genuine connection, not obligation. This reduced stress and renewed sense of self-worth contributes profoundly to both your happiness and your physical health, giving you the vitality to pursue what truly brings you joy. Moving from setting boundaries with others, let's explore a perspective shift that many over 65 encounter. One that can either be a source of anxiety or an incredible wellspring of new life, letting go of the idea of retirement as an end. For so long, our identities have often been tied to our professions, our roles in the workforce, and the daily rhythm of work. When that chapter closes, whether by choice or circumstance, it's easy to fall into the trap of viewing it as the end of productivity, purpose, or even relevance. This traditional view can lead to a sense of emptiness, boredom, loneliness, and even contribute to a decline in mental and physical health. The narrative becomes, "I'm retired, so now what?" rather than, "I'm retired, so now I can finally." The key here is to redefine purpose. Your purpose doesn't disappear just because your job title does. Purpose is about what gives your life meaning, what makes you feel alive, engaged, and contributing. For some, this might be volunteering for a cause they believe in, mentoring younger generations, exploring a long-dormant hobby, or dedicating time to family and community. It could be learning a new language, taking up painting, or even starting a small passion project from your home. The freedom of retirement means you get to choose your purpose, unbound by deadlines or corporate structures. This leads directly to embracing lifelong learning. Our brains thrive on new challenges. Picking up a new skill, whether it's learning to play a musical instrument, mastering a new recipe, delving into a new subject through online courses, or even just tackling a complex puzzle, keeps your mind sharp and engaged. It combats the mental stagnation that can sometimes set in. And often, these new learning opportunities open doors to new social circles, combating potential isolation. Finally, cultivate new routines and connections. Seeing retirement as a new beginning, instead of the alarm clock dictating your day. What new rhythms can you create that nourish your soul? Perhaps it's a morning walk, an afternoon spent reading, or a regular coffee date with friends. Seek out groups or clubs that align with your new interests. A book club, a hiking group, a crafting circle. This is an unparalleled opportunity for exploration and discovery, a chance to rediscover who you are beyond your working identity. Imagine the excitement of having a blank canvas, ready for you to paint the next vibrant chapter of your life. It's not an ending, It's a grand unveiling of possibilities. A second act, perhaps even more fulfilling than the first. When you let go of that old, limiting definition of retirement, you open yourself up to a world of continued growth, vibrant health, and profound happiness. And speaking of embracing the present and our well-being, there's one more significant burden that can truly diminish our joy and impact our health, one that often lingers in the background of our minds. And speaking of embracing the present and our well-being, there's one more significant burden that can truly diminish our joy and impact our health, one that often lingers in the background of our minds, letting go of unnecessary worry about the future and the natural process of aging. It's a natural human tendency to look ahead, to plan, and to consider what might come. But for many of us, this turns into constant apprehension, worry about our health declining, concern over financial security, anxiety about losing loved ones, or the fear of losing our independence. This kind of chronic worry isn't just an unpleasant feeling. It's a powerful thief that robs you of your present moments, keeps you up at night, and actually has a measurable negative impact on your physical body, from your immune system to your heart health. It's like dragging a heavy anchor behind you, even when the waters are calm. The irony of worrying about the future is that it drains the very energy you need to live well in the present. You spend so much mental real estate on hypotheticals, on scenarios that might never come to pass, that you miss the simple joys and opportunities right in front of you. This isn't to say we shouldn't be prudent or plan. There's a crucial difference between thoughtful planning and debilitating worry. Planning involves taking practical steps, like organizing your finances, considering your living arrangements, or discussing future healthcare preferences with loved ones. Worry, on the other hand, is the endless loop of what if without action. A form of mental paralysis that leaves you exhausted but accomplishes nothing. So, how do we release this invisible weight? The first step is to distinguish between planning and worrying. Make your plans, set things in order where you can, and then consciously choose to let go of the need to control every single variable. Understand that life is full of uncertainties, and some things are simply beyond our control. Once you've taken reasonable steps, shift your focus. Instead of obsessing over potential problems, direct your energy towards enjoying the solutions and opportunities that are available to you right now. Next, cultivating mindfulness and presence is incredibly powerful. This means consciously bringing your attention to the current moment. It could be as simple as truly savoring your morning cup of tea, noticing the warmth of the mug, the aroma, the taste, or perhaps feeling the sun on your skin during a walk, listening to the birds, or fully engaging in a conversation without your mind drifting to future anxieties. A daily gratitude practice, where you list even 3 small things you're grateful for each day, can profoundly rewire your brain to focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than the potential negatives. These small acts of presence accumulate, building a stronger foundation of inner peace. It's also vital to focus on what you can control and gracefully let go of what you can't. You can control your daily choices, what you eat, whether you move your body, how much sleep you get, who you spend your time with, and how you choose to react to situations. These are your true levers of power. You cannot control every twist and turn life takes, but you can control your response and your attitude. Instead of fearing the inevitable changes that come with aging, embrace healthy habits that support your vitality and resilience. Every healthy meal, every leisurely walk, every heartfelt conversation is an act of self-care and a testament to living fully. Finally, embrace acceptance of the natural process of aging. Aging isn't a flaw to be fought. It's a profound journey of wisdom, experience, and continued growth. Instead of resisting it, which only creates internal conflict and stress, learn to flow with it. Acknowledge the changes, adapt where necessary, and celebrate the unique strengths and perspectives that come with each passing year. If worry becomes overwhelming, don't hesitate to seek support from trusted friends, family, or a professional. Sometimes, just talking through your anxieties can significantly lessen their grip. When you consciously choose to let go of unnecessary worry, you liberate an immense amount of mental and emotional energy. You sleep better. Your immune system functions more effectively, and your overall sense of well-being soars. You open yourself up to truly experience the joy and richness of each day, rather than seeing it through a filter of fear. This profound sense of inner peace is perhaps the greatest gift you can give yourself in your golden years, contributing not only to a happier life but a healthier, longer one too. So, we've gently journeyed through 4 truly impactful shifts you can embrace after 65. We talked about finding a profound sense of liberation by letting go of those heavy past regrets and all those lingering what-ifs, freeing up your heart and mind to live fully in the now. We then explored the incredible power of releasing the need to constantly please everyone, reclaiming your time, energy, and authentic self, allowing for genuine connections and boundaries that honor your worth. And then, we shifted our perspective on retirement itself, moving away from seeing it as an end and instead embracing it as a vibrant new beginning, a golden opportunity for redefined purpose, lifelong learning, and exciting new adventures. Finally, we just discussed the immense peace that comes from shedding unnecessary worry about the future and the natural journey of aging, choosing instead to focus on what you can control and savoring the richness of the present moment. Remember, making these shifts isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Even the smallest conscious choice to let go can create a ripple effect of positive change in your life. It's about being kind to yourself, recognizing the incredible wisdom you've gained, and giving yourself permission to live with more ease and joy. I'd truly love to hear from you. In the comments below, share with me which of these 4 points resonated with you the most. Or perhaps, what's one thing you've personally found freedom in letting go of as you've embraced these beautiful years? Your insights could be an inspiration to so many others. If this video has brought a little lightness or clarity to your day, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more wonderful people like you. And if you're looking for more guidance and inspiration on living your best life at every age, consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thank you for spending this time with me. Embrace the journey, savor each day, and remember, your golden years are truly meant to be your most radiant. Live your best life at every age.